the president earlier this week instructed the intelligence community to conduct a full review of the pattern of malicious cyber activity related to our presidential election cycle. So he's requested this report be completed and submitted to him before the end of his term. As you all know, in 2008, there were intrusions into both the Obama and McCain campaigns. There haven't been any noted episodes in 2012, but the president asked to go back with what we know now to make sure that we're using every tool possible as a means of due diligence. And then, of course, in 2016, our intelligence community determined that there was malicious cyber activity intended to interfere with our elections. In the high confidence assessment that was released this past October, the intelligence community made very clear that this was activity directed by the highest levels of the Russian government. So as we've made clear, we are committed to ensuring the integrity of our elections, and this report will dig into this pattern of malicious cyber activity timed to our elections, take stock of our defensive capabilities, and capture lessons learned to make sure that we brief members of Congress and stakeholders as appropriate.
Will the review go all the way back to up to '08?
Yeah, so we're going to actually, what the president asked for is a review to look at malicious cyber activity timed to our presidential election cycle. And so it will be broader than just looking at this past election.
Okay. Will it also look at whether state election systems were tampered with, or will it just be about email intrusions and that sort of thing?
Well, what we determined in mid-November, a few weeks ago now, is that state election systems did not, the federal government did not detect any increased malicious cyber activity on election day or related to the administering of the elections. So we've already made that determination, and that's something we've announced publicly from here. But in terms of what this review will look at, this is going to be a review that's conducted by the intelligence community. As you know, in that October statement that we released, that was released by the Department of National Intelligence and Department of Homeland Security. Obviously, there's other agencies that work on those issues, including the FBI, the Department of Justice, and the Department of State.
Will it be made public?
So we're going to make public as much as we can. Obviously, you can imagine a report like this is going to contain highly sensitive and even classified information, perhaps. So when that report is submitted, we're going to take a look. We want to make sure we brief Congress and relevant stakeholders, like possibly the state administrators who actually operationalize the elections. So given that the directive to launch this review was just this week, we want to make sure that that process unfolds in all due accord.